Now, we want to talk about matters sustainable construction, and in studio with me is Santosh Panda, who is the project and technical manager at Safal Building System. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. The construction industry contributes about 36% of energy usage and 40% of CO2 emissions worldwide. And of course, sustainable solutions are the answer, so to say, in bringing down these numbers. So just tell us your thoughts on that.
Yes. When we talk about sustainable, if we go to the dictionary, it says saving the environment. How we will impact the environment, how we can save the environment. Those are the things we get from dictionary. So when we talk about sustainable construction, we want to say how we save environment impacts by the construction. As you initially mentioned that we are the largest impactor to the environment, like 36% carbon emission, 40% wastage and other things. So, so to say that now we have to be very careful how we are impacting the environment, how much less we can impact the environment. So, as every industry says, we cannot get a better result doing the same thing. So we have to change our way of thinking about the construction industry and the way we do the construction. That is the only way we can save our environment, or we can save our environment for the future, for the future generations.
Right. So now for the industry currently, the solutions that are available, of course, when you talk about sustainability, you're not only talking about the structure, the construction. It includes even after construction, how does this building work? So take us through that process in ensuring that you have sustainable construction at the point of construction and beyond.
Yeah, if we talk about sustainable construction, it doesn't start with it starts with the construction, but it covers the whole life cycle of the building. Like when we are doing a construction, you are doing something. And when you are using the building, you are also impacting the environment. Like, okay, you have seen all this light. If you put all this light, it will have some impact. You are consuming energy. So during the construction, we are consuming energy. Again, you are consuming energy with your air conditioner, your lights, you are running air vents, everything. And so when we are doing the construction planning or planning for the building, we need to understand what type of material we should use, what type of building we will give to the environment or the society so that it will reduce the operational costs. Like nowadays you are always seeing in the channels or in the media that we need a green building. What do you need? Why people are talking about green building? No, it is not green.
Yeah.
Green means we are giving less impact to the environment. Like we are using less, we are doing daylight inside the building so that we are using less energy, less electricity. We are not, our building is well ventilated, so we are not putting artificial ventilation system which will consume your energy. Even the building materials itself. The building material itself is having a issue. If you select the proper building material, then only you will able to deliver a proper building which can be easily operated with low energy or with low maintenance.
So you had Salim Vuria speaking there, and he talked about, tiles being locally sourced. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually, when if you see the Kenyan construction market, maybe around 50 to 60% is import. Now he talked about manufacturing tile locally. Even he is talking about steel, production of steel, conversion of iron ore to steel, which is actually a good news for the construction market, because steel is one of the major products which can bring the construction to a sustainable stage. Because steel is a product which is, you can say, 99% recyclable. That means you are not wasting anything. Okay. You built a steel now, maybe after 10 years you recycle it and again make the steel new. So you are not wasting anything. So when we are talking about manufacturing steel locally in Kenya, it will definitely boost the construction sector here. And I also heard the CEO EACC saying that, okay, people are using this ethical discussion to take advantage of it. So that is one of the barriers in moving to a sustainable construction. When people talk about, okay, think of a change, somebody will try to bring you down. Oh, no, we don't want to do the change. So he will frame you in the way that, okay, you are doing something wrong. Don't go for the change.
Okay.
So to go for a sustainable construction, people should, change should not be a barrier. In construction market, people try to create barriers for change.
Okay.
That is one of the things why Kenyan construction market is not moving towards innovation. In Kenyan market, if you go to a mature market like Australia or US, you find they are building more buildings in a sustainable way, like using steel. Here, if you will come back to Kenya, you will see maybe the steel uses in the building is very less. And you are mostly relying on concrete. If you rely on concrete, you are using cement. And cement is one of the products which generates much more emissions to the environment than any other product. So now in the earlier discussion, I was discussing that we have to think of innovative materials. So that is the way we can, when we select the material, if we select it right, then we will move ahead and make a building sustainable.
When you talk about the innovative material in that point of construction, what informs the choices that developers make?
Okay, if you are talking about choices, to make a choice, you need the information first. Like if you are not aware about a product, you cannot think of that. Like when I am not informed about that KBC is here, I will never think of coming to KBC. So at this point, information is power, but rather than information, misinformation is more powerful at this point. People are due to lack of knowledge or lack of awareness, people look into a situation and interpret on its own. Like I will give you an example. When you talk about a steel building, if you are not much aware about the uses, you are not much aware about the benefits, you will think, oh, steel, no. I will not live inside a steel building, so I don't want my house to be built in steel. But if you will go into details, if you are informed, a steel building can give you much better benefits. Like you can have a steel building looking similar to your concrete building. You can do different type of interiors and make it looking similar to your existing building. But still you are doing at a higher speed. Like your conventional building, if you can do it 2 months' time, 3 months' time, with a steel you can maybe build it a month's time. So you are saving time. If you are staying somewhere in a rented house, you are saving that rent. Even if with a steel building with different properties of steel and combination of steel and concrete, you will have a building where you can have better green products. So those are the benefits people should understand first before taking a decision. And information is power. Like these broadcasting agencies and other things, they should mostly focus on providing information.
Right, that is what we're here to do. Let's talk about now the options that are available. Of course, there are people who do construction for commercial purposes. Those are large scale. And then there's someone who just wants to construct their house for their family. So what's sustainable clientele?
See, when construction or heavy construction or industrial construction, people always have a fleet of engineers, architects, and all these professionals are involved. But when we come to a residential individual, let's say you or me, if I want to build my own house, I may not afford a architect, I may not afford a structural engineer. I just take the support of them to get the basic detail to get approvals, but I may not engage them for a full period to get the details or get their technical help. In that case, the manufacturers should come up with an innovative idea to circulate the information. Like, let's say if we are talking about Mabati rolling mill, there are, or any other roof manufacturer, like they should advertise the benefits of the product in the common media platforms. So people should understand what is the benefit they will get out of it. What are the options available? If I go to Google it, then I can have 10 options. But if I try to understand the products, everybody has its own benefit. Then I can take an informed decision what I have to do. So but if I don't know the basics of the products, then I will not Google it. Google is the best guru at this point, but I will not Google it if I don't know the basics. Like if somebody will say, you want to buy a tie. He knows it is a tie, so he will Google it where I can get it. But if you don't know if you want to go to buy a specific type of pen, you may not be knowing the details what to sort for. So you will not get the information.
So a lot of sensitization needs to be done.
That is the most important thing, that information has to go to the root level.
Right. And right now, a lot of the government is focusing on affordable houses. The private sector is also involved in this venture. What is being done, or is there anything that is being done really to ensure that the buildings are sustainable and not using, environmentally heavy, the ones which have environmentally heavy impact?
Okay. See, most of this mass housing, low-cost housing, affordable housing, whatever term they make it, most of them are done in public-private partnership modes. And the basic consideration in them is the upfront cost. They don't talk about life cycle cost. People always talk, okay, how much it will cost now? So now the agencies who are involved, like ANCA and other construction agencies, they should talk about life cycle cost of the buildings, so that when we design a building for a 10 years, 15 years, 20 years tenure, we should calculate the total cost of ownership for that 20 years, not the cost of construction at this point. I normally give this example to people when I talk about sustainable construction. Everybody knows Eiffel Tower. It is a 135-year-old building. That time the technology was not so advanced, so the structure was built and they painted it. And within this 135 years, this building, this structure is painted 19 times. And every time they are consuming around $4 million for that painting. If the same structure has been done with a galvanized steel or coated steel, it should have done, the maintenance should have been done for 4 or 5 times. So you can imagine what is the cost we did for maintenance of the structure. It is almost the same as the main structure itself, the construction of the structure. Right. So we have to understand the life cycle cost, and those things as an individual, nobody goes into that direction. So the agencies like NCA or Architectural Association of Kenya, IQSK, all these people should come up with that idea, that life cycle cost of the building. So from the day one, you know, okay, this is my cost.
You were talking about why plans need to look at the life cycle of a building and not just, you know, the construction cost and then we are done and yay, here we go. So even construction, from an individual perspective, from a developer perspective, commercially, this is a very important pointer, right?
Yes, this is a very important point, because whenever we make a building or a structure, it is not for now. It may be for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years. So if we didn't calculate that, and you buy a substandard product and go on maintaining it, or you buy a standard product and live peacefully. That is the only theory you can correlate. That people say buy a substandard product and cry every day, or buy a good product and live in peace. So if you calculate those life cycle costs and invest in the current stage, then maybe we will live peacefully for a longer time. Like I said, instead of maintaining the structure for 19 times, if you want to maintain it for 4 times, 5 times, then either they will gain by keeping it open, because during maintenance they have to close this for view, so they are losing the charges for the tickets. They are spending $4 million, which is a huge money. $4 million is a huge money. And you are risking life of people, because it is a big structure doing there. And even you are exposing the environment. Like in every painting, they are using 60 tons of paint. Imagine if you are doing 60 tons of paint, how much chemical you are emitting to the environment. So you have to be very choosy about the material you should use during the construction itself, so that it will give you a better life and reduce maintenance.
You talked about innovation and coming up with these solutions. When you watch a lot of these real estate construction shows, it almost looks like the African market is way far behind in terms of those innovative solutions. What are we doing as the Kenyan market, the African market, to come up with solutions that work for this market? And also comment on the price point there.
See, when we talk about innovations, it is a blend of the local available material and the technology. It is not always an imported one. If it is an imported one, it will be always be not cost effective, it will be expensive. Because you have to pay every sort of charges, starting from transport to taxes. So during innovation, you need to think of how we can have a product which has a local component, but it should be passed through the innovation to have a better results. When we talk about building solutions, the building solution must be having a component or a raw material which should be used from the local available materials. That's why I just mentioned that CS has said, okay, we are starting to manufacture steel locally. Till now we are importing it. So once we start manufacturing our own steel, the cost of basic raw material will go down. Then that product, if we use it in an innovative way, it will be cost effective than the current uses. The other way around, yes, local products, you say it is cheap. Let's say in Kenya you have a lot of forests, so I will say, okay, let's use timber. But by cutting trees, you are doing deforestation. Again, after some time, you will say, oh, we don't have forest. Let's plant trees. Again, adding a cost. And what is the life of a wood? And you are not very sure, if you go to the market and buy a wood, you are not very sure, is this wood the right one I am using? Because it is not a controlled market. If you are using a standard product like steel, at least it is governed by some standards, like cave standards if they are, or people use Euro standards. So it is governed by a standard. So everybody using the same standards to follow, and you are assured that if I am getting these things, it is up to that standard. Even you talk about UN is saying, the SDG goals are saying, oh, hold on, now we have cut all the tree we have to be. Now we have to stop cutting trees. So now if you use, in Kenya, I have seen many buildings who has roofs with wood. Now if you have to replace it with steel, or at least for the new buildings, if you will do it with steel, at least we will save the trees.
Yeah, yeah.
So the steel is a very important product in construction market. It is not a new product, but use of innovative use of steel, that is important, because steel, like every construction product, steel also has its merits and demerits. Like if you will not take care of the steel properly, it will not take care of you. Like if you will leave it as it is, with a due course of time, it will rust and collapse. So the next innovation came to steel, that okay, protect the steel with different type of coating. Initially we started with paints, then now people started with zinc coating, then different coatings like alu zinc, and all these improvements which started yearly mid of 90s, and so now it has picked Kenya market also. It is not a very new product to Kenya market, but yes, it is not popularized. That is the most challenging thing. It is not popularized. People don't think steel as a product to be used in a residential or commercial setup. That mindset has to be changed. That resistance to change has to be removed.
The resistance to change.
Resistance to change has to be removed. That is more important.
And go ahead.
So when we are talking about resistance to change, people resist the change because they are not aware of the benefit. So then it comes to awareness. So awareness and resistance to change, that has to be created.
And of course, every manufacturer, everyone who is providing solutions in this market is competing for the market.
Yes.
Right? So even as you do your awareness from the steel side, others are doing it from the timber side. There are also those who are doing it from the cement side of things. And how do we ensure that at the end of the day, every mind is geared towards sustainability as opposed to, I want to make money here, I want to make money here? I mean, how can we get to the goal?
Okay. See, whichever construction material you told, like cement, steel, and wood, none of them can be out from the whole structure. If you have to do a building, you have to do the foundation. You have to use the cement. You cannot avoid that. So you have to create a balance between the items. Like the way we always say that, okay, if you are using a concrete, so let's have an innovative way of using the concrete, not the traditional way of doing the concreting, or a traditional way of cement. Like now the cement companies have also come up with green concept of cement, which radiates less emissions to the environment. So creating a balance is important. It is not that we can avoid any item. We cannot avoid steel, we cannot avoid cement, we cannot even avoid wood. You also have to have a portion of wood in. If you have to have the doors, nobody will like the steel doors. You will have a wooden door. Or if not direct wood, it may be converted into plywood or all sort of things, but it has to be. So, but the balancing has to be there. Like we are saying, okay, if I use more steel, what is my benefit? What is use more concrete? What is my benefit? As a user, not as a manufacturer, as a user, we should understand what is the optimal combination of all these items, so that my cost is maintained, or I get an optimal cost, and the impact on the environment is less. That has to be always worked out while selecting the material and the building.
When you're excuse me, when you're choosing materials, especially when you're using renewable materials for construction, does it eventually bring the cost down?
If you talk about life cycle cost, yes, but the upfront cost will go up, definitely. Like there is a survey by University of Minho in Portugal. If you try to build a building with a sustainable way, with a balanced mix of cement, steel, wood, and all other available material, the upfront cost will go up by 5 to 6%. So there is a cost hike. As if you talk about, okay, what is the cost of building this house? It will go up. But they also calculated this in a life cycle basis. So end of life, when you have a, let's compare, let's give a hypothetical example, you have 50% of steel and 50% of concrete in a building. So end of life, you are recycling 50% of this building material, because when you demolish a building of concrete, it is a scrap. When you are demolishing a building with steel, at least the steel part you will sell it at least 50%, 60% of the value as a scrap. So end of life, you are also gaining something from that. So if it is a balanced way of engaging those two materials, cement and steel, in a building, so end of life, you will gaining something as a scrap. And if you are making a full concrete building, end of life, it is another headache to dispose those scraps. So if you talk about life cycle cost, you are saving with a sustainable way by properly utilizing steel and combination of steel and concrete. But upfront cost, it will go up.
So for a market like Kenya, you understand where most people are, and it would probably make sense not to go that direction, you know, because you're looking at the immediate construction cost as opposed to the life cycle cost. So how can we bring the cost to a position where it can compete with the available resources that are maybe not sustainable?
Yes, that is the best. I think that is one of the burning questions at this point, that how we are managing the cost of construction with sustainable material and with other materials. We talk about, when we talk about business, we talk about ROI, return of investment. If I think I have given this example to you before, that you want to build a house in traditional way, it may take you 3 to 6 months time. You are staying in rent somewhere. Now you want to build this house in a sustainable material, like the innovative way of doing prefabricated structure and pre-built structures, all these things. You may build that house within 2 months time. So you save a 4 months rent. So maybe that is one of the savings you are looking at. Maybe you are not calculating that, but practically speaking, you are saving something. So now in Kenya, I think it is gaining popularity. It is not that Kenyan market is not gaining popularity for the steel building. Even in residential sectors, people are moving towards that. It is a good sign that people are accepting these buildings as their living space. Okay, acceptability level is very low. Maybe I will say around 15 to 20% at this point. As manufacturers, we are trying to create awareness of the benefits and the cost-benefit analysis, so that people will able to take a decision, like the way we discussed that awareness and the resistance.
Right.
But still that resistance is there in the market. People are not so keen to move towards this, unless and the 15-20% what I am talking about, those people are mostly staying outside and seeing outside environment, then coming back, okay, if we can do it in Australia, we can do it in US, you can do it UK, then why not Kenya? We need to create a balance between sustainability and affordability. Like it is a very thin line. You can always say affordability is the upfront cost, but the sustainability is the long-term one. So are you thinking for today or you are thinking for your children? That you have to decide. The second thing I will say, we need to open our minds and remove the resistance to change. It is rightly said by somebody that we cannot build tomorrow with today's systems. We have to think of changes, new ideas, new technology, new materials, new methods or procedures. So you have to be open. We cannot resist the change and try to think that, okay, we can go ahead.
Right, thank you very much. We have to close it there. That is the conversation on construction sustainability and ensuring that we are using materials that are not going to have a negative impact on the environment. That is Biz-Check. My name is Betty Kiptum, and from all that made this broadcast possible, we wish you a good afternoon. Tamrini and Kurunzi Mashinani are coming up with Kasichana Masha. Do stay tuned to Channel 1.